10 reasons relocation buyers choose New Orleans. Relocating to a new city is exciting, but choosing the wrong neighborhood can turn into a regret. Most buyers don't make bad decisions, they just don't have the right context. If you're relocating to New Orleans and make a 6 or 7 figure investment, this channel's designed for you. This video introduces the 10 reasons people choose to move here, and it's the entry point to everything we teach. Reason 1. Distinct neighborhoods support different lifestyles. New Orleans doesn't function as one single experience. It's a city of clearly defined neighborhoods, each with its own pace, priorities, and personality. The Garden District offers quiet, tree-lined streets with minimal foot traffic and historic homes set back from the sidewalk. The Marigny supports a walkable social rhythm with corner bars, galleries, and consistent street activity. Uptown provides family-oriented living with schools, parks, and a balance between residential calm and accessible amenities. Bayou St. John creates a neighborhood-centric lifestyle centered on the waterway, local cafes, and community connection. Noise levels, walkability, parking, social interaction, even daily schedules can change dramatically from one neighborhood to the next. That means the same buyer can have a completely different experience depending on where they live. For relocation buyers, this makes neighborhood selection more important than square footage, finishes, or even price. A home that looks perfect online can feel uncomfortable fast if the surrounding environment doesn't match how you live. The difference isn't just aesthetic, it's functional. A buyer who values privacy and quiet evenings may feel overwhelmed in a high-energy neighborhood. A buyer who thrives on walkability and spontaneous interaction may feel isolated in a more residential area. Buyers who begin with lifestyle, how they want their days and evenings to feel, make more confident decisions. They experience fewer surprises after moving. Reason number 2, a strong, non-interchangeable sense of place. Many cities offer convenience, amenities, and modern infrastructure. Very few offer a distinct sense of identity. New Orleans has a deep cultural foundation that influences daily life, social interactions, and even how people relate to time and tradition. This sense of place creates emotional attachment rather than transactional living. The city's identity isn't manufactured or curated for marketing purposes. It evolved through centuries of cultural exchange, adaptation, and resilience. That authenticity registers with people who value depth over surface-level appeal. For relocation buyers, this often leads to stronger long-term satisfaction. People who connect with the city integrate more fully. They don't view their move as temporary. This isn't about tourism or entertainment, it's about whether the city's character aligns with your personal values. Buyers who appreciate history, cultural continuity, and environments shaped by community rather than developers find New Orleans compelling. That connection is difficult to quantify, but it often determines whether a relocation really works. Reason number 3, a daily pace that supports quality of life. Life in New Orleans operates at a more human pace. That doesn't mean ambition disappears or opportunities limited. It means urgency isn't constant. Meals are meant to be enjoyed. Conversations aren't rushed. Time outside is part of everyday life, not something scheduled between obligations. This pace is cultural rather than economic. It's reflected in how people interact at coffee shops, how neighbors greet each other on evening walks, and how weekends unfold without rigid planning. For buyers coming from high-pressure markets, this shift can be one of the most meaningful changes. Many find they regain a sense of balance without sacrificing intellectual or cultural engagement. The transition isn't always immediate. Some buyers initially mistake the slower pace for inefficiency. Over time, most recognize it's intentional, a choice to prioritize presence and connection over productivity metrics. This pace often leads to improved well-being and a more sustainable long-term lifestyle. Reason number 4, architecture with character and intent. New Orleans architecture reflects history, craftsmanship, and individuality. Homes are rarely interchangeable. Many were built with proportions and materials meant to last. You'll find raised cottages, double gallery homes with cast iron balconies, shotgun houses with original heart pine floors, and Victorian mansions with hand-carved millwork. These styles weren't designed for mass appeal. They were built for specific climates, lifestyles, and social contexts. For relocation buyers, this offers something increasingly rare: properties with personality and context. Homes here often feel like part of the neighborhood rather than isolated structures. That said, character comes with responsibility. Maintenance, materials, and sometimes historic guidelines require thoughtful ownership. Older homes demand attention to detail. You need a willingness to work with original features rather than replace them. Buyers who value stewardship and long-term appreciation often find this trade-off worthwhile. Properties with architectural integrity hold value and meaning in ways that standardized construction doesn't. Reason number 5, culture integrated into everyday life. In New Orleans, culture isn't an event, it's part of daily living. Music, food, art, and neighborhood traditions exist alongside normal routines. You don't need reservations or tickets to experience the city's cultural depth. A brass band might perform at a neighborhood park on Sunday afternoon. A corner restaurant serves food rooted in generations of family tradition. Second-line parades move through residential streets, with neighbors joining from their front porches. This integration means culture's accessible without being commercialized. It exists because the community sustains it, not because it's packaged for consumption. For relocation buyers, this integration reduces friction. Culture doesn't compete with daily life, it enhances it. Many buyers find this accessibility improves their sense of connection and enjoyment. It doesn't require constant planning. The city provides depth without demanding performance or participation. You engage on your own terms. Reason number 6, walkable, neighborhood-based living. Many neighborhoods in New Orleans are built for walking, not as an added feature as the primary structure. Streets are narrow, sidewalks connect directly to front porches. Coffee shops, corner stores, and restaurants sit within a few blocks of residential streets. Bayou St. John offers easy access to the Waterway, Parkway Bakery, and local shops, all within walking distance. The Marinade gives you Frenchman Street, cafes, and corner bars without needing a car. Uptown provides tree-lined streets with access to magazine streets, shops, and restaurants. For relocation buyers, this changes daily routines. Walking becomes practical, not recreational. You can handle errands, meet friends, or grab dinner without planning around parking or traffic. This isn't just about convenience, it's about how you experience your neighborhood. Walkability creates repeated casual interaction. You see familiar faces. You notice seasonal changes. You feel connected to where you live. Not every neighborhood offers this, but the ones that do provide a rhythm that's hard to replicate in car-dependent environments. For buyers who value that accessibility, it often becomes one of the most satisfying parts of living here. Reason number 7, a city that respects individuality. New Orleans has a long history of embracing people who don't fit neatly into predefined molds. Creative careers, unconventional schedules, and personal expression are part of the city's fabric. There's less pressure to conform and more space to live authentically. The city doesn't require you to justify your choices or align with dominant professional or lifestyle narratives. Artists, writers, musicians, remote workers, entrepreneurs, and retirees coexist without hierarchy. For relocation buyers transitioning into new life stages, career shifts, remote work, retirement, this flexibility can be deeply appealing. It allows people to design their lives rather than adapt to rigid expectations. That freedom becomes particularly meaningful for buyers leaving environments where identity was heavily shaped by professional status or external validation. Reason number 8, community that feels personal. Neighborhoods in New Orleans tend to be socially connected and relational. Local businesses recognize regulars. Neighbors often interact beyond simple proximity. Community feels participatory rather than anonymous. This isn't forced or performative. It emerges naturally from neighborhood structure and local culture. Front porches, corner stores, and shared green spaces create opportunities for repeated low-pressure interaction. For relocation buyers, this shortens the emotional distance of a move. Feeling known helps a new city feel familiar faster. Many buyers describe moments when they realize they'd become part of the neighborhood, being greeted by name at the coffee shop, invited to a neighbor's porch for drinks, or recognized at the farmer's market. These small moments accumulate into a sense of place. This sense of belonging is often cited as one of the most meaningful long-term benefits. Reason number 9, lifestyle value relative to cost. New Orleans offers access to a lifestyle that would cost significantly more in Tier 1 cities. You're not just comparing square footage or finishes. You're comparing what your life actually looks like day to day. In cities like San Francisco, Austin, or Charleston, you'd pay more for less space, longer commutes, and fewer cultural amenities within walking distance. Here, you can live in a walkable neighborhood with architectural character, access to culture, and a strong sense of community without the financial pressure that dominates life in higher cost markets. That doesn't mean New Orleans is inexpensive. It means the return on investment includes quality of life, not just property appreciation. For relocation buyers, this changes the calculation. You're not just asking whether you can afford the home, you're asking whether the investment supports the life you're trying to build. Many buyers find they can downsize their budget without downgrading their lifestyle. That financial breathing room creates space for other priorities: travel, career flexibility, or simply less stress. The value here isn't just economic. It's about what becomes possible when housing costs don't dominate your financial life. And now for reason number 10, a city that rewards long-term connection. New Orleans tends to work best for buyers seeking more than a short-term stop. Those who choose the right neighborhood often develop lasting social and emotional ties. The city rewards engagement, patience, and participation. The depth here isn't immediate. It unfolds through repeated experiences, returning to the same restaurant, walking the same route, attending neighborhood events, and building relationships with people who've been here for decades. This isn't a city designed to appeal to everyone, but for buyers who align with it, the relationship often deepens over time. Many long-term residents describe New Orleans as a place they didn't just move to, they became part of. That shift from resident to participant is what separates a functional relocation from a genuinely fulfilling one. That long-term connection is what ultimately defines a successful relocation. If you're relocating to New Orleans and want help choosing the right neighborhood, feel free to call or text us. Our contact info's in the description. And if you're still researching, this channel guides you through every neighborhood using a simple 3-step process: overview, map, and honest pros and cons.